Hi everyone, I believe you all are doing very cool and you are fine as well. So, in the previous video, I talked about HTML, HTML, and I said HTML refers to hypertext markup language, and I gave an overview of what HTML looks like. So if you have not watched the video, go and watch the video on HTML. Watch HTML 3.0, HTML 3.1, and HTML 3.2. All right, I had to segment the videos into three. I had to place it into three segments so that the first one will guide you, give you an insight, and the second one will take you to the practicality of it, and the third one will perfect your understanding of it. So kindly go and watch HTML 3.0, HTML 3.1, and HTML 3.2. Now we have something new, and today we'll be looking at the rules of HTML. Now, before we dive into HTML proper, let's look at some rules, all right, for making use of HTML. Remember, we talked about different level headings. We talked about heading tags in the previous video and different levels of headings from H1 to H6. So, for this video, I'll be talking about HTML element rules. Okay, remember I said elements are the entire content of a tag, both what will be displayed and also the kind of tag that is being used. All right, so we'll be looking at some HTML rules that will guide you in your coding journey. All right, okay, we can start. Now, there's a very important rule I want you to take notes of. Remember, there are different levels of heading tags. We have H1, we have H2, H3, H4, H5. Okay, let me H5. I will want to refer. Okay, I've done that in the previous video. You can watch the different levels of headings. So let me create a new file here. Let me call this my index.html. Index.html. I want us to save it in this web development folder. So the project for today is what? HTML rules. Let's call this. Let's create a new folder here. Let's call it HTML elements rules. I'm going to be making this folder available for downloads if you want to. Open and let's create a file here. This will be okay. Now I want to use a H1 tag. This is me. Watch what's going to happen. I'm going to use this to give you the rules, the stated rules. Let me call this H1 rather. It ends in H1. Let me call this. I'm sure I can run this. Yes, most definitely I can run this. So let me call this a H2. This is me. Let me go back. Remember, as you're typing these codes like this, there's a tendency that it creates, when you're typing those tags, it creates both the opening tag and the closing tag. There's a particular extension that helps in doing this, so we'll come to that. So let me type again. This is me. Just take notice of it. Let's Let's go to h4, heading 4. This is me. Let's go to, we're gonna do something practical. h5, this is me. Let me go to h6, h6 is me. Now I want to make this, I want to see a preview of this. Just right click and click on show preview. Okay, now here comes the rules of HTML. So kindly pay attention as we take on this ride. Now one of the rules of HTML is that, can you see this? This is a header 1 tag, this is a header 2 tag, just the way it's arranged here: header 3, header 4, header 5, header 6. Now one of the rules of HTML elements is that there should be no more than header 1 in a single web page. Alright, there shouldn't be more than one header 1 in a single web page. Let's say, for instance, as a beginner web developer, you could think of something creative and would like to create something similar to this as a kind of testing your abilities. Okay, like now we have header 1 and this says this is me, and the next, let's assume that we have this also as header 1. Then we now say my name is Emmanuel, I am a web developer. Man, how does this thing, how will it look like? It looks so weird. Yeah, it looks weird, man. So one of the HTML element rules is that when you are writing a code in the markup language for a web page, there shouldn't be more than one header 1 element. Are you with me? All of this is a header 1 element, as well as all of this. Sorry, this is supposed to be a developer, as well as all of this too supposed to be header 1 element. So it's actually very wrong to have 2 header 1 elements in a single web page. Alright, so this is going to be wrong. Instead, I'm going to put it header 2. Alright, and it's not even supposed to be header 2, it's supposed to be another it can be another header section, like about me. Yeah, this is me, about me, this is me, my picture could be under there, about me could be just, so these are just headers. Don't mistake this aspect for what paragraph. We will come to paragraph when we explore paragraph tags. So do not use a header for a paragraph. So remember the first instruction, the first rules was that do not have more than one header 1 element in a single web page. It's gonna look weird, bro. So that's rule number 1. So we're gonna play safe if we all keep to the rules. Now we got rules number 2. Rule number 2 is that do not skip a header element. So if you're calling this your header 1, make sure that this is header 3, this is header 4, this is header, you use them sequentially. All right, so do not say, okay, since we have a header 1, we now have a, let's call this header 6. Let's put the closing tag, header 6. Can you see what's going on? And let's now call this one header 3. Can you see that this looks so weird? So the second rule of HTML elements is that do not skip level headings when you're creating a single web page. Do not skip level headings. So let your level headings be in an hierarchical structure. Okay, let it flow in form of hierarchy, from high to low. Do you understand? So that's how a hierarchy looks